Imagine for a moment your pits smelling like nothing. You don't stink after you work out. Your teenager's foot odor doesn't exist. How is this possible? It's Lumi. Challenge Lumi to keep you funk-free for 72 hours. Go to uglytruth.com/Lumi. You can pick your favorite smell, the favorite type of applicator or stick or tube or wipe, and you will be amazed by your non-smelly body. uglytruth.com/Lumi. Welcome to The Ugly Truth. This is episode 528. Ugh. That is one thing that will never go away.
Oh, no, we have to
We
do
have
that.
to do it. It's like our sound check.
Well,
it's like our vocal test.
We do it when we talk on the phone or
Which is
see
like
each other.
Although, I will say, have you noticed that whenever I send you a message, I'm like, hi, Ugh.
I do the same thing.
I can't help it.
Yeah, I have to do it. I'm like, hey, Ugh.
Except when I talk to Alice, she's like, hag. And I'm like,
I know, that's her thing. God.
All right, it's all good.
She calls me smelly. She has been calling me that for... I'm not.
Really?
So far from it. But
no,
yeah.
I don't mean that, but you're right, she
It's just
did.
a thing she has been doing for 20 plus years.
So she calls me hag. I don't know who
She calls me that sometimes.
She's never called me smelly.
No, smelly's her word for me.
That's for you.
She
that's
pretty
her
much says it to
term.
me when I'm like, if I call her and we haven't talked in a really long
She's like,
time,
"Smelly."
she answers the phone. She's like, "Smelly, what are you doing?" I'm like, I always start laughing.
She's like a throwback to like the 50s,
Right?
Like she legit.
She's very calm, which is so.
She's a very
strange.
vintage soul.
Yes, she is.
She really is a vintage soul.
She was like 30 when she was 10.
Yeah, she was a conniving little bitch back then. No, I'm just kidding. No,
I know you think so.
Oh, no, I don't.
But we all are. She's just different about it.
She's diabolical.
She
Positively
can be, and so
diabolical.
can I. Oh my God, I'm the worst.
I'm just
I have to
silent.
ask God for when I asked for to be forgiven for things, like when I pray.
When you die.
I'm like, I'm so sorry that I was having homicidal thoughts again today, like real ones, where I was really thinking about killing someone.
What are you, Catholic?
Not a random person, like someone I know. I was thinking in my mind how I would like them dead and what I would do.
my
And then I'm like,
God.
God, stop it. I'm like, what are you doing? You can't think about these things.
I don't have homicidal thoughts, but I definitely fantasize about people I hate being dead.
Yeah.
And it's a
don't.
short list, but I mean,
Yeah.
I definitely do. I'm sure we're not alone in that. But I just think
I
about
don't
them like,
know.
you know what? I can't wait till I you know what? I do wish for their death. I just don't want to be the one that does it.
Well, I know.
Is
That's
that
good.
bad?
No, I think
I feel like
I'm
that's
more
bad, too.
logical where I'm like, well, it has to get done, and if I have to be the one to do it,
I
then...
guess fine, I'll do it. You know?
And I'm like, and I'm certainly not going to sacrifice my life in prison for this idiot.
yeah, you know what?
So-
Honestly, though, this has crossed my mind, and I don't know if you've thought about this, although I'm sure you have, because you're about as crazy as me when it comes to things like this. But I have thought, I'm like, you know what? If I was dying of cancer, if I was like legitimately
Oh
going
my God,
to
I would
die,
kill someone.
there are some people
I would absolutely kill someone.
that I would consider.
Yeah, me too.
And I would be like, I'll die in prison for this.
Although, even though, as we sit here and talk about it, I can't think of who they are.
Me neither.
But when I'm laying in bed at night at 3 o'clock in the morning and I have insomnia, I know
I got a
exactly
list.
who they are.
Check. But I would
Yes.
have to be like legitimately dying. Like I'd be like, bring them to me. Bring them to me.
Oh my God, speaking of, yesterday I watched Stepmom.
Stepmom. Oh
Oh my God, you've seen that, right?
100 times.
OMG, I was alone, Jerry was working, Jeff was in his room, I'm premenstrual, I was sitting on my couch fucking sobbing, like, like crying.
I saw that movie in the theater with Kim.
Oh God.
We were in the theater at the night of it was a premiere night.
Oh.
So we had like movie premiere tickets.
Yeah, that was when you used to get...
back in the day,
Yeah.
right? And so we were sitting there watching it, and of course I relate to both.
Me too.
Because I am a mother and I'm also a stepmother,
Me
and
too.
I've endured hell as a stepmom.
Right,
so I
right.
mean, I get it.
Right.
And so I'm watching this, and I can't remember. It's when the little boy is asking him. It's at the very end when she gives him his
God.
cape, and
That was
he's
the
like,
part that I was crying hard.
He's like, the first time I saw that, he's like, nobody loves. I was like, stop.
And in fact, if you start talking about it, I could seriously cry. Like, it was so... Susan Sarandon was... They both were,
Brilliant.
actually.
That was
brilliant.
a really good movie. It's a good movie.
And they both executive produced it, which I love.
I thought it was great. I love the part when they're in the bar and she's like, you're lying. You never lost him. You know, like...
It's like, why didn't you tell me that? She's like, you know why. I'm like, this is so real. Like
It's
that
absolutely
But
the
the
truth.
worst part of it was is that she was dying and knowing, that you're just
I
figuring out this
know.
relationship with your husband's new wife.
However, I will say, if she wasn't, I don't think it would have gone like that.
No.
She would still be a total.
In fact, there were moments where even though she wasn't talking, like there was no script, you could tell she was like, what am I doing? This woman's going to be caring for my children.
Yeah,
I'm
I really
dying.
can't be an asshole.
Yeah, like I have to figure this out,
Yes. I send a TikTok to my kids because this is my way of sending them advice about adulthood. It's the only way. And I'm sure they roll their eyes at me. I'm positive of it, but
well.
I don't care. But there was this one, and it said, tell me some advice that somebody told you about marriage that has always stuck with you.
Oh.
And this one girl comes on. She goes, it was my ex-boyfriend's mother. And she said, the worst a man treats you as your boyfriend is the best he'll treat you as your husband.
Ugh.
And I'm like, I'm starting to go back in records of all the ex-boyfriends that I've had. And I'm
Yeah.
like, that is 100% true.
That's probably very true.
100% true.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this needs to be screamed from the mountaintops. Ladies, gentlemen, it probably applies to both.
Oh, no, it does. I've known girls who've treated some guys like shit.
I can't.
Like, they just pined for them and chased after them. And the girls were like, they cheated on him, or
Yeah,
they
they're
were
like,
mean
well,
to him. And
That's a weird gene.
it was strange. Yeah. You know what?
Anyway.
I've known girls who use guys. I've never been a user myself.
Me neither. Me either.
I mean, I'm not above anything, but I'm just saying it's just not been my thing. Like, if I'm not interested in you, I just don't want
It's
you around.
just over for me. But
Yeah.
yeah, what's funny is like, oops, I was telling my kids, and I've been telling them this for years, and they don't believe me, and then they slowly start to warm up and realize. And I said, here's the thing. I said, you will never ever want for partnership or coupledom or relationships or companionships.
yeah.
I go, you will have to actively choose to be single.
That's true.
Because you will never have a problem
Getting someone.
getting somebody. And, I know that there are people who struggle. I
Yeah.
get it. I said, but because we're raised with like, I really don't need you. I'm fine on my own.
Right,
And when
that's
you're
true.
raised with that attitude, it's very attractive to people. So you will always,
Which is why the needy people of the world are always single.
because they smell of it.
Yeah, it's horrible.
And they don't even know they're doing it sometimes.
know.
But anyway, so I told that to them, and they're like, right, well, look at me. I will always need to. And I'm like, no, I'm telling you, you won't. So finally, they're
Try
just
it.
like,
Try to be single.
yeah, I said, I had to actively choose to, I was kicking people off of me. And then when you end a relationship or they end it with you, they're like, well, I don't really know. And I'm like, that's right, go, get out.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you'll be back. And they always come back.
True.
Once you tell them,
Can't quit 'em.
you'll be back. And they're like,
Yeah.
okay, whatever, ho. And they walk away. I'm like, and I move on
Oh
with
my
my
God,
life.
it's so true.
And then they're like, hello, what are you doing? It's
Oh
been
my
6
God.
weeks.
See, and mine was always like some stalker. It was never just, I love you. It was
I
like,
had a stalker.
knocking at my door. I'm like, oh, God, what?
Yep.
Get
Yep.
away.
It's true. It's absolutely the truth.
I'm so over you.
I know that there are women who relate to this. There has to be. There's no way. I mean, it's like a very common
I
thing.
hope so.
Ugh,
We can't possibly be alone in
no,
this.
we're not. It's just funny.
And I'm
to
not
me.
saying like, oh my God, I'm so amazing
No,
that they're
no,
stalking
it's
me.
not
No,
that.
it's not even
No,
that.
no.
As a matter of fact, when the guy wasn't really a stalker, he just wouldn't accept the fact that I didn't
wouldn't
want to go out with
say
him anymore.
no.
Yeah.
Yes,
And he would
yes.
like come to my house and I was like,
Oh,
you
that's
know what?
you know
No.
what? That's unacceptable.
It was a little stalker-ish. Yeah, you don't
Mm-hmm.
just show up at someone's house after they broke up with you and expect to be let in.
I remember one time we ended things, and it had been about 6 weeks, or it was like 5 or 6 weeks, and he called me and he's like, how come you're not like
Begging me back?
what are you doing? How come you haven't called me? I'm like, because we no longer exist.
Yeah.
And I'm not.
We broke up.
Yeah.
Duh.
I mean, haven't you moved on to your like girl 3 by now?
Oh my God.
And he's just like, well, I don't know. I did. I'm like,
Yeah,
bye.
of course he has.
Goodbye.
God, have you ever looked up any of those people now? If you can remember like their names.
I was gonna say,
it's so horrifying.
I have to remember their names. Okay, you're the only
It
one.
takes me a while. I'll remember the first name and then I'll mull over it for a few weeks, and then all of a sudden I'll be like, "Boing, I remember!"
And
I'm
then
like,
yeah,
yeah, and I'm
Oh.
like, I'm shaking while I'm doing it because I'm like, what am I going to see?
yeah.
And when I do, I'm going to be like, oh,
Do you
I
remember?
went out with you. I let you inside me. Ah!
Do you remember the guy that had the Ferrari,
Yes.
Larry? Okay.
Oh, I was about to say he had some total, like, porn name.
It was Larry. He looked like a porn name. And so, anyway, I remember...
Larry,
so
he was like a little weasel.
he was
wasn't little, but...
hardcore coke addict. I mean, it was, the whole thing was so bad. Anyway, it ended...
He's like Don Johnson in Miami Vice.
It ended poorly. And it was, I mean, really poorly because he was still married and I didn't know.
That's right.
It was the worst.
Oh, I remember that.
It was the worst. I was like, I cannot believe that I didn't see this. Like, I'm usually pretty good about it.
But you were really young, James.
I had my son. I wasn't that young.
Well, you had your son at what, 20?
Anyway, I found out because he invited me to go skiing, and I drove up there to go skiing, and Paula watched Tyler for me.
I remember.
I went up there. A woman answered the door, and I'm like, hi. I go, is Larry here? And she's like, yeah, sure, hold on. And then a couple of kids show up. They're eating pancakes at this house.
Oh, my... Why?
In Squaw Valley. It was a cabin. And
Why
so
did he invite you up there?
I'm standing there going, this isn't right. And
Are you his sister?
So she goes upstairs. She's like, he's upstairs. I'm like, okay. So I go upstairs. He had been partying all night. He was totally coked out. There was drugs and alcohol everywhere.
Ew.
And I'm up there going, what the fuck is going on? He's like, oh, that's just my best friend's wife and his kids. They went skiing and she didn't want to. And I was too hungover. So I'm here. And I'm like, why did I come up here? Because I wanted to go skiing. Like, legit. I was in my ski clothes. I wanted to go ski.
Like, I thought we were going, oh my God.
So then suddenly I hear her yelling. And I'm like, what's going on? He's like, oh, I don't know. So I open the door. She's like, I've called your wife, Larry. She knows about this. And I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, I'm leaving.
Oh, so she was legit. She wasn't the wife.
No. Oh, God, Stephanie.
I thought she was the wife.
No.
I was like tripping. I'm like, wait a minute, what?
Oh, my God, no. I would have never. She would have said I'm his wife and I've been like, there has been a humongous misunderstanding. And I would have left. And so, anyway, she's like, I called your wife. And so I was like, what? I legit had no idea. And so I said, I'm leaving. And he's like, and then the woman goes, get your shit and get out of my house.
To him?
Yeah, to him.
Oh.
And I'm like, I'm leaving. And she's like, she would not even pay. I was not the issue.
You didn't exist.
I was not the issue. And so I walked out the door and I was like, holy shit. He ran after me and he's like, please, I need a ride home. They're like not going to take me home. Da 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 da. And I'm like, absolutely. And he goes, I'll pay you. And I said, okay. So he gave me $100.
Oh my God.
I drove him. We were halfway there and he starts crying in the car. And I'm like, this is literally the worst.
Did you guys talk at all?
No. And I said, you know what? Well, he apologized. And I said, I can't believe you're married. I'm like, this is absolutely hilarious. And really, I feel like an idiot. I'm like, that poor lady and her children?
Oh my God.
What? They must think I'm the biggest slut on the planet.
Well,
I'm like, this is horrible. We hadn't even slept together.
Well, was he like wasted when he told you to come up there?
Must have been.
And because what was he thinking?
I don't know. He remembered, he knew I was coming though. That was what, he's like, oh, you made it. And I'm like, like he thought everybody would just be cool with this.
I guess.
And so we're halfway home and he's like, and I'm like, what? And I'm like, wow. I'm like, any shred of respect I had for you in any way whatsoever is completely gone.
Oh my God.
He's like, can you just drop me off at this restaurant and then I'll just call a cab? I'm like, absolutely. So I pulled over.
What, did he not want you to pull up in front of his house with his wife and kids?
I didn't want to pull up in front of his house.
I would have dropped him off down the block anyway.
Yeah, so I dropped him off and he used the payphone and I never heard from him.
He had a story like in his mind. Okay, I'm gonna say,
he's fucked. That lady called his wife.
I wonder if she stayed.
No. So I looked him up.
Oh, okay.
Like 15 years later, I looked him up. He lives in San Diego now. His children are adults. And he owns like a GNC. Like he's like a franchise, but he's always been like
kind
this entrepreneurial.
Yeah, I remember that. How did he get the Ferrari? I don't recall, but
who knows? But I was just like, okay. I'm like, well, he looks exactly the same. Yeah. Same kind of guy, and I'm like, you still got that fro, okay?
Probably doing the same stupid
shit. You know, maybe he's off the coke now because
Hopefully.
It's not the '90s anymore,
right?
But anyway, it was literally the worst story of my life. That breakup, and that asshole had the audacity to call me like 2 years later.
Ew!
I know, and I'm like, no, and I hung up.
Oh my God!
Like, no. I think I even changed my number at that point.
Right?
Oh my God. It was
so funny. Oh my
horrifying.
God.
Speaking of age, so I turned a new birthday a few weeks ago.
Yes, I know. We've been talking about this the last couple shows.
And I'm going through some kind of midlife crisis.
Right.
So
We know about your ordering when
I'll
you were in Hawaii.
I'll tell you why I started going on this next level. And I know it's not a big deal for a lot of women, because a lot of women get Botox and fillers and they don't really talk about it. It's just like a normal thing. A lot of people do.
It's like getting your eyebrows waxed.
But I've never thought about it. I mean, I've thought about it, but I've never been like, yeah, I'm definitely going to do it.
Yeah. Oh, I have.
So I went to Hawaii with Daryl. We took all these pictures. I'm like, I look like shit in every single one of these.
No, you don't.
The lines around my mouth are deeper. I just wasn't really happy with everything. And so I came home and I immediately called and made an appointment with this medical spa place that does this stuff.
That does
best in the town.
Injections, yeah.
And I got an appointment. And everybody's trying to get in, so I have to wait. It's not for a couple of weeks.
Right.
Like I said last week, it's still a few weeks away.
So is it in July or June?
It's at the end of June.
Okay.
So, but you will be able to see it. Actually, next time we record...
It will be done?
Yes.
Oh, God.
If I get anything done. Because I don't know how it works. So, of course, I get the paperwork.
You walk in and they do it.
I get the
They're not
paperwork.
gonna be like, come back in a week. No.
I get the paperwork yesterday, and they're just like, fill out your health records, and they're like, skin has a lot to do with your diet and your water intake and all of that. How do you do on that? So I had to be honest about all that stuff. And so I'm like, okay. They deal with a lot of acne and stuff. I think that's why they probably ask. So anyway, I'm like, all right. So last night, literally, I dreamt about it all night. I'm starting to get scared.
Are you going to back out?
No. Oh, God.
God.
No.
Okay.
No, I told Daryl last night, I'm like, be prepared. I go, I bet I don't even look that different. He goes, you're going to look different. I'm like, no, I'm not. I go, I'm going to look the same.
The idea is to make you look more youthful.
Just rest it.
As yourself.
Yeah.
It's not to make, you're not getting a nose job.
So I'm not getting any of those fillers that make you look
For
like a
your
Joker.
lips. Yeah.
I'm not doing any of that stuff. I go, the things I like are weird personal things. It's like, and they do a lot of it. A lot of women go in there and get this thing that I want done.
For sure.
And so did I tell you about the threading?
Yes.
Okay. They do that now.
At this place that you're going? So are you thinking about...
I was like, are you doing the threading? And I'm like, no. I'm not doing that.
I thought that was like $5,000 or something. Or is it $2,500?
It's like $2,500. I said, but I'm not doing that. I said, I'm not doing that. I've never, ever been to anything like this.
You gotta start like a baby step.
I'm having anxiety already. And I'm like... I got the name of the nurse that's going to be taking me in. I don't know if she does the actual procedures, but I got the name, Googled her immediately. She's stunning. Yay. And so I'm like, all right. And she's a real nurse. So I'm like,
I
okay.
hope so.
Yeah, well, I didn't know. I'm like, is this like a Botox party where some girl goes, okay, ladies, let's go.
God.
I don't know. So I'm like, no, it's very serious. And they take it very seriously, just like place doctors. And there's a real doctor there.
Yeah,
her first name's not doctor. It's, she's a doctor. So anyway, but I'm getting nervous, but I'm like, no, I'm not chickening out.
Is it nervous or anxious?
Well, I don't want her to fuck up my face.
No, that's not going to happen.
That's my nerves.
And the other thing is whatever I'm assuming it's temporary, right?
Everything's temporary.
Yeah, so even if they fuck it up, you'll have a knot on your cheek for a month and it'll go away.
Thanks a lot. And then you're coming with me.
Well, that's why you're going first.
Yes, but
you had a rare reaction that never happens. It's a 0.1% that people get scar tissue permanently developed.
It's going to be on our gravestone. Our familial gravestone will be like, they were the epitome of this never happens.
Of rare and unusual things.
God. Every time Mom calls, she goes, well, this never happens. This is incredibly rare. But
we don't even need to preface that anymore because we already know.
And it's true.
It's true.
It's so true. She goes, well, the thing that I have, they've never seen before in 30 years. And I'm like, well, of course not. Because why would they? Jesus Christ. So anyway.
Which is kind of scary because every time you take something you've not taken before, you're always wondering, like, I'm going to be that one thing on there that says extremely rare reactions to this are...
Your teeth fall out.
Right?
But it never happens.
An instant death.
Oh, my God. So anyway, yes. But the other thing... And I'm not going to do it this time, but the other thing is, the fat pad we have down here that we hate under our chin, they have a shot that will, like, burn off the fat.
Oh, I like that.
I do, too.
Are you awake?
Yeah.
See,
Well, it's like a gradual thing. They don't just suck it out of your chin.
Oh.
They, but we all have this little fat pad. Everybody in our family has it.
Yeah.
Where they put a little shot in there, and it, like, eats away the fat. Now, my only concern is the skin will then sag, and I don't want that. So I'm going to ask about it, but I'll tell you about it.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
Anyway, so...
it's probably like a 2-step process. Well, first we take the fat off, and then we have to cut the skin out. It's like, oh,
Forget
great.
it. I'm not doing it. No cutting.
Then what happens if you gain the weight again and then just like you end up looking like a frog, when they
Yeah, I can't do it. I don't want that. Oh God, that would be horrible.
See, that's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah, I don't wanna
that's
do
why if
that.
you go down this road, you have to really be committed to
I'm
continuing
gonna be
it. And
so incredibly conservative because I'm terrified. And a few weeks ago I was really excited. Like, I'm going to do all the things and it's going to be so great. And now I'm just like, well, maybe I'll just get a consultation.
We're just talking about manic ups and downs.
Yes.
And, yeah.
But it's my anxiety kicking in. And
Yeah.
it's funny. I told somebody, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to go. I'm having an appointment for a consult for like Botox or fillers, whatever. He goes, have you never done that before? And I went, no. And he goes, oh, okay, well, congratulations. Can't wait to see. And
Welcome
I'm like,
to the family. Yeah.
I'm like, oh, so this is common? And I'm just being a big baby? I had no idea.
Yeah, I think it's pretty common, but I think
don't know why
we're just getting to the age to where it's common. I can't imagine people have been
guess.
doing this for 10 years. I mean, we're,
I've heard of people saying you have to start in your 20s, and I'm like,
No.
why? I would never.
I'm not starting in my
Don't.
20s.
Just put on moisturizer and sunscreen.
I
God.
wish I would have done a lot more of that.
Well, I have to say, I am not excited about her telling me how much sun damage I have because
I
I'm sure I
know.
have
Oh my
sun
God, me
damage,
too.
and I don't want to do the UV light thing where she can show me all the sun damage.
Like, why didn't they put sunscreen in makeup from the gate?
I don't know, but it's brilliant.
And they should always have had it in there. I mean,
They should.
They've always known that UV light is bad for your skin. So why didn't they not? Ugh, whatever.
We used to sunbathe with olive oil,
Jamie,
Stephanie.
and butter and Crisco and anything we could find that we thought would baste us better.
Who's using my good olive oil? Stop! God! You're like turkeys out there! She did say that to us.
That's funny.
She's like, stop using my olive oil. That's for cooking.
We used everything
know.
Mother had. She could keep nothing. She needed a little
We ruined
safe.
everything.
Well, that's what you do when you're children.
God. I remember when she had vodka in the freezer. I'm like, you really think this is a wise choice? To just have it sitting in here with 4 wild girls who are...
I used to do that with Dad because Dad always had liquor,
Yeah.
and he didn't really drink that much.
No.
But he had it, and
I
so
know. It's almost like he
I
just,
would
like-
drink it, and then I would put water in it,
Because
thinking
no one would know.
Yeah, and I mean the thing about Dad, which is so odd to think about, was he was actually pretty cool about shit like that.
He was.
He could have slayed me. I mean, I think I expected to get crucified.
The weirdest things ticked him off, but he's like, yeah, be completely ridiculous. I don't care.
Yeah, go
Get
ahead
drunk.
and steal my truck and drive around when you're 12. He thought that
like-
was funny.
Well, not only do you think, he's like, admirable.
Yeah.
That's really good.
He's like, see, she knows how to drive a stick. She's 12.
I know, it's true. I don't remember when this was. It was at my old house. But Daryl and I were having a party or something. We pulled out some booze, and everything tasted like water.
Right.
Everything.
Oh my God.
And I'm like,
who did this?
I'm like, try the tequila. I'm like, it's like tea. Like the vodka, water. What's going on? I'm like,
What,
God, damn it. I know what's going on. But I was like, I can't
you had to
believe
try
it.
my children?
Those little rascals.
And my daughter was a freaking saint.
She's like, Mom, they were going to try to drink it, and I said no.
She didn't do anything. God, she literally did
She was a
nothing.
good kid.
Very good.
She's still good.
She is.
Okay, so as far as the celeb world goes, there's a few things going on. Kanye West is now dating. Okay, I thought it was Irina Shayk.
Yeah, what is it?
I saw somebody on InStyle magazine on TikTok. She said Irina.
Irina?
She's Russian.
Oh,
And
she
so
is.
it's Irina.
I know, because every beautiful woman on the planet is
Is
Russian.
Russian.
So true.
But she's also Bradley Cooper's baby mama. And I'm
Yeah.
like, what is this woman? And she also was dating Ronaldo, Cristofo Ronaldo, that really hot soccer player.
Oh, God.
I'm sure I said his name wrong. But anyway, they dated for a while. And then she met Bradley Cooper. And now they broke up. And, I think we all think and know that it's because Bradley Cooper was having an affair with Lady Gaga.
I know, but what, just nothing ever happened with that? Like, they just messed
think-
around during the filming, and then it was
And then,
over?
yeah, but it was probably so intense. And, I mean, it seemed pretty
Well, I mean, if
intense
she
to
was
me.
just like, look, you cheated on me, we're done. Whether it
She's
lasted
like,
or not.
I need a shake. I can have anybody. And
Yeah.
and she left.
And he's Bradley Cooper, and he can have anyone.
God, he's so cute.
He is adored.
Oh!
What's your favorite Bradley Cooper movie? Not because the movie was good, but just like him in it.
Well, I loved him in The Hangover because he was so fucking hot.
Oh, okay.
He
That's
was
an older
so
movie.
Goddamn hot. Well, that's when I went, hello, who is this?
Yeah.
I mean, I know he was in Wedding Crashers, but I mean...
Barely. I barely remembered him in
He
that.
had a shaved head. He was ugly, and he was
Yeah.
an asshole, and he got diarrhea in it. I didn't care. But in The Hangover was the first time he let his hair grow long, and he was wearing that black button-up Armani shirt. I'm like, Oh my God.
Yeah, he is so gorgeous.
Like, get over here. And then on top of it, he was married and had a little girl in that movie. And I'm like, how do you even
get any cuter? Yeah.
How do you function with this person in your life? How does that happen?
I loved him in Sniper.
Oh,
Oh
really?
my gosh, yes. I don't know if it was because he was in the military, if it was because he was an assassin.
Maybe.
Or he was just because it was based on a true
American
story.
Sniper, right?
Yeah, American.
Yeah,
That's what I meant. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, I
based
like
on
him
a
with
true
longer
story.
hair.
Yeah.
So when Star is Born came out, I was such a naysayer. I'm like, I am not getting into the hype. Well, I was like, I'm not getting into the hype of this. I didn't go to see it at the movies, but it came out on HBO, and I said, fine, I'll watch it. I watched it, and I'm like, tell me something more. And I'm like, I love this movie.
My thing with that movie before it came out, when I was anticipating whether or not I was going to like it or not, was I'm like, well, the cast, you can't get any better. Like, if I had to pick someone to do this movie in the modern time,
this is it.
I mean, Lady Gaga is the shit. She sings
was so good in that movie.
So good. So, yeah, he was the one where I was not sure he was going to be able to pull it off, but he totally did.
He pulled it off.
Yes, he did.
I'm just like, he's a mess. And, like, there were parts, like I was telling Daryl when I was watching it, because I watched it alone for the first time, which is the way it should be done.
Oh, absolutely. I did too.
And I said, there are parts where I finally started to forget it was Bradley Cooper.
Yeah.
Because he's so attractive.
So good, yeah.
And he's so cute to me. He's so attractive that I'm like, I just, I can't.
All you see is Bradley Cooper.
His blue eyes and how hot he and how gorgeous his hair is. And then suddenly he became an addict. And I see this tortured musician who has a lot of baggage. And then finally I saw who he was portraying. And I'm like, this dude deserves an Oscar.
Yeah, he's
the
very
only
good.
reason he didn't get it is because there were some political things going on.
At the time.
And he was the only white guy nominated. And they're like, he ain't getting it. He deserved it.
Yeah,
it was
I
so
agree.
good.
I agree.
And Lady Gaga was really good too. But
she's
anyway,
getting better and better. As she's getting ready to come out, she's going to be in something else major that's coming up.
Versace.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Oh my
Yeah.
God. It's
I
going to be
couldn't remember.
amazing with Adam Driver. I'm like, yes, girl.
I know. I love her.
I love Adam Driver too.
Well, I'm glad she's doing something else besides singing, because she has said that she's felt really taken advantage of. I mean, it's at times. I think she's in control now, but I think when she was up and coming,
for sure,
she was so incredibly talented that people were just clawing, to get to her.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And she's like, and at some point, I was looking at myself in the mirror. I'm like, who am I? Like, why am I doing these things for money that I would normally never do? She's like, I'm not doing this.
Yeah,
she's
I'm done.
I
remember that actually. I do remember that.
Yeah, it was some
so now
interview.
his baby. So she's hooking up with Kanye, and I'm like, where's your baby?
I don't get
like,
the
where's
thing
your child? What are you doing with this guy?
And I don't understand what people are attracted to with Kanye. He must be really nice, but he's crazy.
I don't know. You can. I don't dig the unmedicated tactic when it comes to mental health.
Yeah, agreed.
I just don't understand when we know so much.
Yeah.
But he's so afraid that it'll affect his creativity that he will not do it. But it's caused. Well, I think it's caused the demise of his marriage with Kim, for sure.
Well, Kim said, one thing she did say on last night's episode was that he is, because I think he's manic or bipolar, he will leave and go to a new state and buy a house and just go. And
she's like, and I want him to find someone who's okay with that. And I'm like, no one's okay with that.
She's not okay with it. Yeah, they have 4 kids.
No
she's
one's
like,
okay with that.
Yeah, so.
That's insanity.
Yeah, but I appreciate the fact that she didn't trash him.
Stephanie, our dad moved us every year.
I know.
Every year of our lives. And our dad is bipolar.
I think we used to think that he was running from something.
He was.
Like people or things. I don't know,
but I mean, all I know is that it was always a quote unquote fresh start.
Yeah.
And that it was, and he, to this day, I mean, now I don't think we haven't spoken to him in so long. Like decade or so, but from what I understand, he's in the same place now.
Yeah.
But even after that, he moved, and he's constantly wanting to move. Every year we moved in our childhood, we never stayed. I
wonder why. Maybe it's he feels uncomfortable and he feels like he has to escape.
Why does Kanye have to move every year?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
and
that's the thing with Kanye. What gets me about him, I messaged you that puffy jacket.
Yes.
He has going with the Gap.
Yes.
And I'm like,
it's gonna sell out.
It did.
Yeah.
It sold out. $200. I mean, it's not that terribly expensive, but it was just ugly.
It wasn't a pretty blue.
I didn't like the style, and that people were talking about the fact that it's a jacket with no zipper.
Yeah.
It's just
the point.
It's like a shell. You just wear it.
It's like a shawl.
Yeah, it's just literally for
a poncho. Not really a poncho, but.
And I've looked at his stuff, and I don't understand. I'm like, do people just buy it because it's Yeezy?
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, it's Yeezy.
It'll be worth money one day, you guys.
But it's ugly.
I don't know, man. I'm not.
Benetton used to be popular, people. And expensive. Do you hear about them today? No.
Everybody wanted Benetton or Benetton.
Benetton, yeah. What was the other one? Esprit. Oh,
Sport.
my God. I had to have Esprit, remember?
Oh, yeah, I remember. I had to have Benetton. I had a Benetton sweater.
What were the names of those dresses we used to get?
Jessica McClintock?
Yes.
Everybody had to have a Jessica McClintock gunny
Prom
sack dress.
Gunny sack, that's what
gunny
it was.
sack dress. Oh my God, that's so old school. Oh my God.
Yeah.
And they're all coming back in style, and they're ugly
Stop
as hell.
it.
I can't.
Yeah.
I'm like, stop it. Leave it behind.
Still
Please
ugly.
leave it behind. Jesus Christ. Hate it.
Oh my God.
Okay, so she's hanging out with Kanye. I don't know how long that's going to last.
Oh, it'll last a minute.
Well, Bradley's going to go, hey, you have a child?
He already did.
He did?
Yeah, they broke a story about it this morning saying that he's like, absolutely, like, what are you doing? This
You're
guy
not
is
taking
fucking
this
crazy.
baby. You're not taking my
He's like,
daughter.
look, I don't care who you date, but this guy is nuts, and you're not having him around my child. He's
Thank
mentally
you.
unstable, and
He
I'm
is.
not having it. Yeah, and he is.
Oh, man. Mm.
And Kim took the baby bar again and failed it again.
I read about the baby bar.
Yeah.
Now, the baby bar is for people who don't go through law school and
Right.
they go through mentorship or whatever, like
Right.
like Kim did. And according to an attorney that I saw,
It's harder.
It's way harder.
Yeah.
And she's like, it's like a 10% success rate.
Yeah, like
it's
nobody passes
incredibly
it.
difficult.
Yeah.
And so it's not as bad as everybody. She didn't pass.
No.
It's actually most attorneys probably couldn't pass it.
I agree.
It's really hard.
But what gets me about her, that's why I'm like, you really, and I understand Kim to the point where she's like, look, I will sell whatever I have to sell to keep myself interesting and to keep myself in the spotlight.
Yes.
So her going to law school has been her shtick for the last year, 2 years.
She wants to be like her dad.
Yep, and it's just a thing that she's going to be like, look, people are paying attention to me. They're interested. They want to know. You know, even if I never pass the bar, it doesn't matter. People were watching me for 2 more years.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, so it's like, I don't think she ever really had an intention on being an attorney, because if she truly, really wanted to be,
She'd go to law school.
She would have gone to law school.
Yeah, but in California, you don't don't have to.
Well, unless you really want to be one.
Well, here's the thing. If you have the aptitude, like in all honesty, and I'm not just blowing sunshine up your ass, I think that if you did what she's doing, you could pass the baby bar. Yeah, you could. Absolutely. 100%. You're smart enough.
If I had all the advantages that she has, yeah.
If you had the tenacity and said, you know what, I'm going to be a fucking lawyer and I'm going to pursue this, you absolutely, it would happen. I know you would. I
don't know.
Brilliant. You're so smart. You could do it.
I love the idea of going to law school. Like, I was like, that part of it
McGeorge
is
School of Law is right here in our backyard.
I know. I used to date a
absolutely-
guy who was going to McGeorge.
Did he ever become an attorney? Did you look him up to see?
I did look him up.
And?
He did not.
Oh.
In fact, while we were dating, he explained to me how it works. So you have to be, when you're going through law school, you have to be like in the top 10% of your class to keep going. Like if you're either average or below average, you're out.
Get the hell out of here.
Yeah, it's hard. It's really, really, really hard. At least this was 100 years ago, rather.
Well, that might
be
the
and
same.
so he graduated from Cal Poly. Very smart guy, so he was going to get his law degree, and he could not do it. He's like, I just kept hitting. I was average,
that would
a little
make
bit
me
below
so-
average. So
That would drive me insane.
So he got out.
You have to have a drive, an unusual
You have to be
drive.
very, very, very like above average.
First of all, I think that you could do it. Hands down, I think you could do it.
He was doing a lot of partying.
Well, that.
I mean, and not that I didn't have anything to do with
wonder if
that.
had anything to do with why he was average.
So I mean,
that's
I think
funny.
a real scholar of the law isn't going to be distracted by
not at all.
partying.
Not at all.
And that kind of thing.
Okay, so enough of the Yeezy.
Yeah.
So, Brangelina.
Yeah.
They're not really in the news anymore, but we kind of wanted to talk about
They're
it.
trying to be out of the news. I know.
I had no idea that they were still fighting over children.
I don't know what I'm really wondering what happened to them.
Why
that
is she so
she
angry?
hates him.
Well, the only thing I can think of is when they got divorced. Apparently,
he was having some problems.
well, he's a pothead for sure, and he's
an alcoholic.
He's an alcoholic. Apparently,
and a drug addict. It sounds like
Maddox, the oldest, they were getting into a confrontation on a private plane.
Yeah.
And Brad physically grabbed him by the arm or something. It
something
wasn't
happened.
even like he didn't hit him or anything. It was just like he got physical in the sense that like, hey, you know, and he grabbed him. Yeah. And Angelina was like, don't you touch my children!
Yeah.
And she's like, they're my children. No, they're not! And so I think she has never let that go.
I agree. And for all we know, maybe it wasn't the first incident.
Who knows?
Maybe that was just her breaking point.
Yeah, well, all I know
like,
is that
I'm not doing this. You're going to keep putting your hands on the kids. This is never happening.
all I know is that he is stone sober now.
He is.
And he will, you know, but that's not enough for her, and she's going to make him pay till the day he
She
dies.
is punishing him.
She is like, fuck you. I don't give a shit what people think about you. I know the real you. You're fucking asshole. And he's like, you're crazy. Like, legitimately
She
nuts.
is legit crazy.
He's like, yeah, can you imagine the kind of insults they must have hurled at each other? I mean,
no.
like, whatever, blood around the neck.
Yes,
Billy.
I was just thinking
Like,
that too.
you know, all your
First of all,
crazy-
let's not talk about the fact that you were married to Billy Bob Thornton. Okay.
And that you French kiss your brother.
Oh, God. And that your dad is John Voight.
What more is there to say? You collect children like chess pieces.
I know.
She's like, that's it.
Well, the other thing about Angelina.
And you have a small dick.
I know.
Oh my God, I've not had enough of this.
I wonder if he's God.
Wait, don't you remember the paparazzi photos of him and Gwyneth naked in their backyard?
Ew.
Because he dated Gwyneth for years. They were going to get married. I think he's a grower.
A grower?
Yes, I don't think he's a shower. I think he's a grower. I've seen the penis photo, and I'm like, well, it's not the most impressive thing, but I'm guessing that he's probably quite fine when it needs to be real.
It's not always true that a man's physique has something to do with his penis size. I have been pleasantly surprised many times.
I married my pleasant surprise.
Right, and I've also been pleasantly astonished at someone who was bigger physically and had like the smallest dick ever.
I know.
I'm like, wow. So it doesn't always mean so, but Brad is not a huge guy.
No, he's a moderately thin, tiny. He's a movie star.
He's
They're
kind
tiny.
of small. Yeah,
I don't know how tall he is. Actually, I'm not sure about the height.
I'm gonna say less than 60. Yeah,
5'10",
for sure.
5'11".
He's probably like slightly below average.
You know what? That would be really disappointing if I met Brad Pitt and he was short.
He was a midget.
I'd be like, really, Brad?
Oh, I'm not allowed to say midget. Sorry.
No, small person.
He was a small person. Yeah, I don't know. So anyway, yeah, but you know what? Now that you say that, I think about like some of the big A-list celebs. They're all like that kind of statuesque.
They look like they came from the 1800s.
Like Kevin Bacon and Tom Cruise.
They're all so small.
They're not big.
They're like back in the 1800s. Men were very, very petite. They were small people, and so it's like that's who they are. They don't eat anything.
Yeah, they don't eat anything. That's true.
I would, honestly,
Rob Lowe. God, he's.
You know what? I could never be a celebrity because they would say you need to lose like 70 pounds.
Yeah.
And then we'll do whatever you want. And I'm like, absolutely not. I'm not giving up wine. So
I know, right?
I'll just be the new.
I swear that's the only reason why I'm overweight is because I like alcohol. Because I have traded food for alcohol many times where I'm like,
I've done that.
Well, you can't have both, Stephanie. You can't have a full thing of pasta and wine.
I have told people, and I'm like, well, if I go carb, I hardly ever eat pasta. I hardly ever eat anything that has carbs in it, like literally nothing, but I will drink wine.
Bread. Yeah.
Oh, I don't eat bread. I can't remember the last time I had a good piece of bread.
Oh my
I'm
God.
not kidding.
But that's just because I'm addicted to like Togos.
Punish myself. Oh, God, I
love it.
No, I don't. I eat the healthiest food so I can
I
drink.
know. You get freaking almonds at the airport.
Shut up!
Oh my God. You're like, so I got some almonds and some healthy I'm like, why?
Because I can't.
Why?
Because if I eat anything unhealthy, I look 5 months pregnant immediately.
See, you know what? And you know my problem at home because my husband and my child eat the same.
Yes.
They both eat like 5-year-olds. So, like, for me, there's never a moment where I can just like, hey, guys, we're having a salad with like some chicken breast
You're like,
tonight. They'd be
what
like,
is this salad? What is this?
Yeah. Well, what are we going to have?
Right?
I want a hamburger and fries, Mom.
Anyway, so I guess Brangelina, they've worked out their custody battle. Well, she's pissed because he's got custody.
He lost. She lost.
Yeah,
she was going for full custody, and the judge gave 50-50.
As he should, by the way.
Absolutely.
I mean,
just because they're not married anymore does not give her the right to own the kids. I hate women like that.
I do too. It's not.
It's so unfair.
I lived through it. We went bankrupt to get fair.
Thank you.
By the way.
And it's so dumb. And it's like, why do you think? I mean, unless you're a drug addict or something really wrong with you that would be detrimental to your children, they have a right to help raise the kids.
It's so.
Even if you hate them.
Yeah, he's not a bad father, and it's been determined. Anyway, so the final thing is Bennifer 2.0.
Oh my God.
We did not talk about it because I didn't know. I wanted to wait.
I thought it was not real.
I wanted to give it a minute because I'm like, what if this is just for like a movie? Or
I thought it was like well, maybe she's just reaching out to old friends for support, because she just went through a bad breakup.
Yeah, I didn't know. But now,
no, it's like
it is in full swing. They are
She's moving to LA.
She's uprooting her children and moving to Los Angeles. And I'm just like, wow. Okay. And then I'm thinking about it going, and you know what's hilarious is A-Rod is like publicly mourning the loss.
He is.
And it makes me laugh hard because
he must have done something really stupid.
He's super fucked up.
Yeah, he did.
But
he had to have.
I thought, were you and I talking about this? Ben sure came quick, didn't he? Like,
yeah, no, you were telling me that you thought he was in the wings.
I'm just wondering, was there something like when Jen? No, you and I have talked about this. J-Lo had her team investigate, and she found out that A-Rod was fucking around. Do you think she's like, okay, well, this is definitely going to be over, so I'm going to get my attorneys on untangling myself from all these business deals. But in the meantime, yo, what you doing, Ben?
I wonder if they were maybe friends. Like, I know
sure they were.
Yeah, like they've been friends and whatever. And maybe she's been confiding in him.
Oh my God!
Like, this has been going on.
And his dick is hard the whole time. Hi, Jen. How's it going?
Yeah, I don't think he ever wanted to not marry her.
Well, she ended their wedding 2 days before the wedding.
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
No. Especially a celebrity wedding.
And now he's got that fucking tattoo, that big old phoenix tattoo on his back that he got.
No.
It's this full color phoenix tattoo.
Ew.
It's really garish. But he didn't have that when they were married because she would not. She'd be like,
she's not the type.
Absolutely no. We will not be doing that.
Mark Anthony doesn't have any tattoos. No, I guess he doesn't.
I mean, they might have little ones. But this thing is full color, full back tattoo.
Well, that's him.
And she's just
so
like,
typical.
Well, I guess this is something I'm just going to have to learn to live with.
You know what's so funny is when he got with Jennifer Garner, I was so surprised because, okay, the movie...
2 months later, by the way.
Yeah, well, they were in Pearl Harbor together. I guess that's where they met.
Okay.
And I watched that movie millions of times, and I'm like, God, the cast in that movie, the women that they cast,
yes,
they're all beautiful.
Yes.
I mean, what's her name?
Kate Winslet. Kate Beckinsale.
Yes.
Who I love.
God, she's so gorgeous.
I fucking love her.
God, and in that movie, she is just like breathtakingly
Stunning.
beautiful. Yeah, and I'm like, why didn't he end up with her? He picks the ugly glasses, dorky one.
You know why? Because, well, first of all, she was married at the time, and second, she likes him young.
Jen?
Oh,
Jennifer?
Yes. No, Kate
Garner.
Beckinsale.
Kate Beckinsale.
She likes him young.
Was she married? Who's she married to?
I can't remember right now,
Nobody
but it was
probably...
somebody famous, and I can't remember.
It was somebody.
It's someone hot. But then
Jerry's just absolutely in love with her. Every time we watch this
isn't?
movie,
She's
like,
gorgeous.
I know, she's gorgeous.
Daryl loves that movie Serendipity with John Cusack and Kate
Beckinsale.
I know. I love that movie too.
Is she English?
Yes.
Yeah.
And he's like, don't you just love this movie? I'm like, I know you do.
She does the best American accent because I never knew she was English.
She is. Yeah.
Her and Catherine Zeta-Jones. We were talking about this last time because Kate Winslet and Mare of
terrible accent.
Not terrible, but just not completely
perfect.
Yeah, she doesn't get it.
She didn't nail it.
Yeah. But Catherine Zeta-Jones, my God.
Perfect.
I when I found out she was English, I was like, shut up. I was like, no way.
I know.
In America's Sweethearts with
I love that movie.
I do too.
John Cusack.
I'm the only one that loves that movie.
It. No, I love it too.
You. But whenever I watch this movie at home, Jerry's like, no.
I mean, like the Rotten Tomatoes, it's like a 3%. I mean, it's so poorly. It was
Billy
like
Crystal's in it.
Somebody said it was more like a. Hollywood did this.
John Voight's in it. No, not John Voight. Who's the guy that plays Hal Weidman?
No, he is.
Is that John Voight?
John Voight is in it. You're right. He plays the crazy director.
Yeah, he's the crazy director. And remember, they do a close up, and everyone's like, "Eee."
I just remember when that movie came out, they're like, "This
is rebuff.
This was Hollywood jacking off to itself. Like it's so self-absorbed. All about Hollywood.
I love Catherine Zeta-Jones' character.
Oh my God,
hilarious.
she's like, I am outraged. Geeks. She's like, I am outraged. I am shocked. You'll hear from my attorney. She's good in that movie.
I love her, yes.
Like, so we decided to get back together. Everybody's like, gasp,
She's
what?
Like, I don't know what I do. Should I give him the divorce papers or should I get back together with him? I'm like, God.
And it is not a roll of pickles. It was such a good movie.
She's like, really, it's like
Hank
this.
Azaria.
Like this.
I like that movie too.
I love it. I don't know why
someone
I
else
like
likes it. In fact, Julia Roberts is the worst part of that movie.
Well, she is, except for I like the part where she's eating like 10 tons of
She's
breakfast.
Like, you want to know what falling off the wagon looks like? This is what it looks like.
She's like shoving sausage in her mouth.
I would love
and
to
she's
do
like,
that.
Kiki, somebody's smoking within 6 feet of where I'm standing. Stop them. God.
That's a great movie.
I know. Okay, stop. Sorry, guys.
Anyway, so Benifer.
You're gonna be cutting a lot of that.
Ben and Jen are together.
Such a trip to me.
We'll
see what happens. You know,
I don't know.
I don't know if they're. I think their camps are confirming that they're together.
They said
they're
yesterday.
certainly not denying it.
Yesterday they said they are hopeful and they are excited, and you know it's all. And I'm like, you know what? I kind of hope it works out for them. I'm not kidding. I mean, they're both much older. I don't think he's. I'm not sure if he's got his addictions in order.
I don't know.
He's got quite a few, but I know that he's constantly trying to be better. He's an Oscar winner, man. He is. He's a talented dude.
Somebody was. I can't remember what interview I was watching, but they were talking about. You know what? It might have been Jennifer Gardner because she's so open.
Yeah, she's really
and
open
on
about
social
it.
media and stuff. And she's like, the first time I met Ben Affleck, I was like, my God, he is absolutely gorgeous. She said in real life, he's stunning.
Well, he's pretty
so
cute.
And she's like, and his personality is like magnetic.
I don't doubt that.
She's like, I was literally like, the first time I met him, you know? She's like, so yeah. She's like, everything you think about him, he's that and then some. I'm like,
I want Jennifer Lopez to find, I want her to find her person so badly because she has everything else. Everything. She's just like the Kardashians.
Well, she's like Mariah Carey. Why is that woman can't keep a relationship either?
You know, someone should slap my mouth for comparing J-Lo to the Kardashians. What am I thinking?
Yeah, not the same.
That's inappropriate. I'm sorry. I hurt my own feelings when I said that. I'm sorry. Apologize.
Right?
No, you're right. Mariah Carey's the same way. You're right.
She's rich beyond rich. She has the kids that she's always wanted.
Yeah.
I mean, she's literally attained every possible accolade known to mankind.
I think that real powerful women in their industry is intimidating to most men.
I think so too. But I also think that Mariah is legit difficult.
Yeah.
I think she's just she's a self-proclaimed diva, but I mean, it gets to the point where it's a little nauseating,
well,
you know?
At some point, you got to drop the facade and be real. I mean, you can't be the Mariah from Glitter that you can't be that person all the time.
In real life, yeah.
You have to let that down at some point and be normal.
I think Nick Cannon was her best choice.
Closest,
yeah. And even he was like, God, I'm over you. Like, you know, I know you're
a lot.
But you are a lot, yeah. And
it's like, be a lot with your crew, but not your family.
And I think Nick Cannon is about as real as they come for a celeb.
I think so.
Yeah, I love him. I think he's hilarious.
He's good.
He likes to stick his dick in a lot of other chicks too, though.
Doesn't he have herpes?
He's getting... No, that's Usher. He's getting ready to have another kid with...
Another person?
Another woman.
Oh, well.
And his choices in women are questionable. Mariah was really the best he was ever going to get, but...
It's true. Okay, enough of the celeb talk. Do you have an ugly and awkward moment of the week?
You know, I racked my brain and I really didn't do anything this week.
I didn't have one either, which is good news. I told Daryl, I said, didn't I have an awkward moment? And he's like, I can't think of anything. I go, I think I almost fell, but I can't remember. So we'll just
I have a bruise on my belly, on my stomach. And I was like, I think I vaguely remember running into some, like I told you, they're not memorable to me anymore because I do them so often that I'm like, okay, who knows what I did to deserve this bruise. But I was like washing today in the shower and I'm like, I have a freaking round, it's round, so whatever I hit
ran
like
into something.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I just don't remember what it was. I was like, well, this is interesting.
Oh, God. All right. Well, we don't have awkward moments, so that's the end of that.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you for listening. And based on our data, you guys listened to the bitter end, so thank you.
Oh. Because something stupid might come out of our mouth.
You never know.
Even at the last minute.
I don't know. They might say something dumb, so just keep listening. You never know. Something. All right. Well, thank you for listening, and we'll see you next week. Bye.